Olivia Nash loved studying languages. Not just any languages, but ones that might come from space. She worked at the Lunar Observatory, a big research station on the moon. Every day she sat at her computer and looked for patterns in space signals. Most people thought she was wasting her time. They said aliens weren't real or wouldn't talk like us, but Olivia believed differently. She had created special computer programs that could find patterns in what seemed like random noise. Her office walls were covered with charts and graphs. Her boss often shook his head when he walked by. But Olivia didn't care. She knew she was onto something big. One Tuesday morning, everything changed. Olivia was sipping her coffee when the alarm went off. Red lights flashed in the hallway. People ran past her door shouting about an object in Earth's orbit. It just appeared, someone yelled. No warning at all. Olivia grabbed her tablet and rushed to the main observation deck. Through the massive window she saw it, a huge ship that looked like it was made of crystal. It shimmered in the sunlight, changing colors slightly as it moved. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. All defense systems are on high alert, announced the base commander. We're trying to establish communication, but there's no response. Olivia stepped closer to the window. That's because you're not listening correctly, she said quietly. The commander turned to her. What did you say, Dr. Nash? The ship itself is communicating, Olivia explained. She pointed to her tablet where she had recorded energy readings. These patterns aren't random. They're language. The commander looked skeptical but desperate. Earth's military forces were already preparing for the worst. Fighter jets scrambled worldwide. Missile systems went online. It was only a matter of time before someone made a dangerous mistake. Let me try to talk to them, Olivia said. 3 hours later, Olivia sat in a small diplomatic shuttle heading toward the alien ship. Her hand shook as she reviewed her notes. The military had given her one chance to prevent a war. If she failed, they would attack. Approaching alien vessel now, said the pilot. They've opened what appears to be a docking bay. Olivia took a deep breath as the shuttle landed inside the crystal ship. The walls glowed with soft blue light. The air was breathable but smelled like cinnamon and something unfamiliar. I'll go first, Olivia told the security team. No weapons visible. We don't want to seem threatening. The shuttle door opened with a hiss. Olivia stepped out onto the smooth floor. At first she saw no one. Then movement caught her eye. A tall figure walked toward her from the shadows. Olivia gasped. The alien was beautiful. It looked mostly human but stood at least 7 feet tall. Its skin shimmered with colors that shifted like oil on water. Most striking were its eyes, 6 of them arranged in a diamond pattern on its face. They blinked in sequence rather than all at once. Hello? Olivia said, trying to keep her voice steady. I am Dr. Olivia Nash from Earth. The alien tilted its head. A small device on its wrist made soft clicking sounds. Then it spoke, its voice melodic but clearly struggling with human sounds. Greetings, Earth being. I am Princess Zaravex of the Astral Dominion. Our translators are insufficient, Olivia nodded. I understand. I've studied communication patterns. Perhaps I can help improve the translation. The princess seemed to consider this. Her skin shifted to a deeper blue color. Your leaders fear us. They prepare weapons. Yes, Olivia admitted. We've never encountered beings from another world before. Fear is a natural response to the unknown. Yet you came alone, unarmed. Not alone, Olivia gestured to the security team still waiting by the shuttle. But yes, I believe communication is better than conflict. Princess Zaravex made a sound that might have been laughter. Interesting. Our data suggested your species would attack immediately. Some wanted to, Olivia said honestly, but I recognized patterns in your ship's energy emissions. They matched theoretical language structures I've been studying. This caught the princess's attention. Her skin flashed with bright yellow spots. You deciphered our beacon signals? Impossible. No non-astral has ever understood our communication methods. Olivia showed her tablet to the princess. On it were the patterns she had recorded alongside her translation attempts. The princess studied it for a long moment. Then she looked at Olivia with all 6 eyes focused intently. You are not what we expected, Dr. Olivia Nash. Your understanding of patterns is unusual for your kind. Thank you, Olivia said, though she wasn't entirely sure it was a compliment. Our diplomatic mission has failed with your leaders, the princess continued. They do not trust our intentions. Perhaps a different approach is needed. She paused, her skin cycling through several colors rapidly. I have made a decision. You will return with me to Astralix, our homeworld. Olivia blinked in surprise. Me? Why? As a cultural ambassador. You will learn our ways, our language, and you will help us better understand yours. This may prevent misunderstandings in the future. The security team had moved closer, hands on their weapons. They clearly didn't like this suggestion. That's quite an offer, Olivia said carefully. But I would need to consult with my government. Of course, the princess said. But know this. I am offering an opportunity no human has ever had before. To see worlds beyond your solar system. To learn knowledge your people have not yet discovered. Olivia felt excitement building inside her. This was why she had studied alien languages her whole life. But there was something in the princess's tone, something hidden. Why me specifically? Olivia asked. Princess Zarovex's skin turned a deep purple. Because you alone tried to understand us before fearing us. That is rare and valuable. What Olivia didn't know, what she couldn't know, was that her neural implant was already doing more than she realized. Standard for researchers in her field, the small device behind her ear was designed to help process linguistic patterns. But as she stood before the princess, it was silently recording and beginning to decode the complex sounds of the royal astral language, a sacred dialect forbidden to all outsiders under penalty of death. I need to discuss this with my superiors, Olivia said finally. You have one Earth day to decide, Princess Zarovex replied. Choose wisely, Dr. Olivia Nash. The future of relations between our worlds may depend on it. As Olivia returned to the shuttle, she felt the princess's 6 eyes watching her. Something told her that this was just the beginning of a journey that would change everything, for her and for humanity. Olivia had never seen anything like the planet Astralix. After a journey that somehow bent space itself, the crystal ship arrived at a world with 3 moons and rings like Saturn. The planet glowed with blues and purples that swirled in its atmosphere. Welcome to our homeworld, Princess Zarovex said as they approached. Olivia pressed her face against the viewport. Below them she could see cities unlike any on Earth. Crystal towers floated in the air without any visible support. Bridges made of light-connected buildings. Flying vehicles moved in perfect patterns through the sky. It's beautiful, Olivia whispered. The princess's skin rippled with pleased blue tones. You are the first human to see Astralix. Consider it a great honor. Their ship docked at what the princess called the Royal Palace. It was a massive structure with parts that seemed to phase in and out of reality. Gravity felt strange here, lighter than Earth but not in a consistent way. Sometimes Olivia felt like she might float away, and other times she felt almost normal. You will stay in the guest quarters, Princess Zarovex explained. Tomorrow you will meet the court scholars. They are eager to learn about Earth languages. Olivia nodded, still overwhelmed by everything she was seeing. Alien servants with fewer eyes than the princess led her through hallways that changed color as they walked. Her room was large and comfortable, though designed for beings taller than humans. The bed hovered above the floor with no visible supports. After the princess left, Olivia sat on the floating bed and touched the neural implant behind her ear. It was standard equipment for xenolinguists, a small device that helped process and analyze language patterns. What she didn't know was that it had been silently recording and decoding the strange sounds the princess sometimes made to her. Guards sounds different from the translated speech she used with Olivia. A soft knock at her door interrupted her thoughts. Olivia opened it to find a woman, a human woman. She was tall with blonde hair pulled back in a neat bun, and wore flowing clothes similar to the aliens but sized for a human. Hello, the woman said with a smile. I'm Melody Winters. I've been asked to help you adjust to life in the palace. Olivia stared in shock. You're human. What are you doing here? Melody laughed. My great-grandfather was a diplomat who married into a minor noble astral family. I'm what they call a hybrid citizen, though I'm mostly human in appearance. I've lived my whole life here. That's amazing, Olivia said. I had no idea humans had any contact with the astrals before. Melody's smile faded slightly. Very few have. And it's not widely known. The Dominion prefers to keep their interactions with other species selective. She entered the room and closed the door. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Listen, there are things you need to know to survive here. The palace has rules, strict ones. Breaking them can mean punishment or worse. Olivia felt a chill. What kind of rules? The most important is about language, Melody said. The Astrals have two main languages. The common tongue is what the princess uses with you through her translator. But there's another language, the High Speech. It's only for royalty and their direct bloodlines. No outsiders are allowed to speak it or even try to understand it. Why? It's sacred to them. Contains command codes, royal lineage information, military secrets, everything important. For anyone else to know, it is considered the highest form of sacrilege. Melody looked around nervously. Even this conversation is dangerous. Olivia thought about the strange sounds she had heard the princess make to her guards. Had that been the High Speech? And if so, was her implant recording it? What happens if someone breaks that rule? Olivia asked. Atomic dissolution, Melody said grimly. They use a device that breaks down your atoms. It's not a good way to go. Olivia swallowed hard. I'll be careful. Good. Tomorrow you'll start teaching our scholars about Earth languages. Just stick to that, learn our common language, and you'll be fine. Melody stood to leave. Oh, and one more thing, never wander the palace alone. Some areas are restricted. The guards won't ask questions before removing intruders. After Melody left, Olivia lay on the floating bed staring at the ceiling. She wondered if Earth officials knew what she had gotten herself into. Probably not. The military had been eager to avoid conflict with the superior alien technology. When Princess Zaravek suggested taking Olivia as a cultural ambassador, they had agreed quickly. The next morning, Olivia met the court scholars. They were astrals like the princess, but with only 4 eyes instead of 6. They watched her with obvious curiosity as she taught them about Earth languages. They seemed especially interested in how humans used written symbols to represent sounds. Fascinating, said one scholar whose name Olivia couldn't pronounce. Your species uses visual marks to capture auditory patterns, so inefficient compared to our chromatic language. Chromatic language? Olivia asked. The scholar's skin rippled with green and yellow patterns. Yes. We speak with sounds but also with colors and patterns on our skin. True meaning comes from both together. This explained why the princess's skin changed colors during conversations. It wasn't just emotional display. It was part of their language. Days passed as Olivia taught the scholars and learned from them. She began to pick up words and phrases in the common astral language. Her neural implant helped tremendously, finding patterns and making connections faster than she could consciously. Princess Zaravex summoned Olivia for private meetings regularly. They discussed cultural differences, technology, and Earth history. But sometimes servants would enter with messages, and the princess would respond in the musical tones of the High Speech. During these moments, Olivia noticed her implant warming slightly behind her ear. One evening, Melody visited Olivia again. She seemed worried. You've been spending a lot of time with the princess, Melody said. That's unusual. Normally, royals don't interact much with visitors. She seems interested in Earth culture, Olivia replied. And she asks a lot about our technology and defenses. Melody frowned. That doesn't sound like cultural exchange. That sounds like intelligence gathering. What do you mean? I mean, Melody whispered, that the astral dominion doesn't usually make friends. They conquer or they ignore. I've never seen them take such interest in a primitive world before. Earth isn't primitive, Olivia protested. By their standards it is, Melody insisted, which makes me wonder why the princess is so interested. Later that night, Olivia couldn't sleep. Melody's words bothered her. She decided to explore the palace despite the warning not to wander alone. Maybe she could find some answers. The hallways were mostly empty. Occasionally a servant or guard passed, but they paid little attention to her. Olivia followed the larger corridors until she found herself in a massive central area with many pathways branching off. In the middle was a holographic display showing stars and planets. With a shock, Olivia recognized Earth's solar system among the display. Around it were strange symbols and flashing lights. As she watched, the image zoomed in to show Earth itself, with markers highlighting military bases and major cities. A group of astrals entered the room from another doorway. They wore what looked like military uniforms, with Princess Zaravex at their center. They didn't notice Olivia standing in the shadows. The princess began speaking in the high speech, gesturing at the Earth display. The officers nodded and responded in the same language. Olivia's implant grew warm as it recorded everything. Though she couldn't understand the words, the images told a clear story. This wasn't a cultural exchange mission. It was military reconnaissance. The Astral Dominion was planning something involving Earth, and it didn't look friendly. Olivia backed away slowly, her heart pounding. She needed to warn Earth somehow, but as she turned to leave, she bumped into a small table, knocking over a crystal object that shattered loudly on the floor. Every astral in the room turned toward her. Princess Zaravex's skin turned a dangerous red color. "Dr. Nash," she said in the common tongue. "What are you doing here?" Olivia searched for an excuse. "I got lost. The palace is confusing." The princess stared at her with all 6 eyes. "This area is restricted. You should not be here." "I'm sorry," Olivia said. "I'll go back to my room now." "Yes," the princess said coldly. "You will. And tomorrow, we will discuss the boundaries of your position here." As guards escorted her back to her quarters, Olivia felt a growing sense of dread. The warm implant behind her ear now seemed dangerous rather than helpful. If they discovered it was recording the high speech, she would face atomic dissolution. But if she couldn't warn Earth about what she'd seen, millions might die. She needed help, and there was only one person who might give it. Melody Winters, the only other human on Astrolix. That night, Olivia had strange dreams. In them, she could understand the musical language of the astrals. Words and meanings flowed into her mind as if she had always known them. She saw fleets of crystal ships heading toward Earth. She heard Princess Zaravex giving commands to prepare for invasion. Olivia woke with a start, her pillow wet with tears. The dreams had felt so real, so vivid. Her implant was hot against her skin. She touched it gently, wondering if it was malfunctioning. A soft knock made her jump. She quickly wiped her face and opened the door to find Melody looking worried. "Can I come in?" Melody asked. Without waiting for an answer, she slipped inside and closed the door. "Are you okay?" "You look terrible." "I had nightmares," Olivia said, then lowering her voice. "Melody, I need to tell you something important. Last night I found a central room with military displays. They were studying Earth's defenses. I think they're planning an invasion." Melody's face paled. "That confirms my fears. The palace has been buzzing with unusual activity. Supply ships coming and going, military drills, coded messages. We need to warn Earth," Olivia said. "Impossible," Melody replied. "All communications are monitored. Any message we send would be intercepted." Olivia paced the room. "Then we need to stop it from here somehow." Melody looked at her like she was crazy. "How? We're 2 humans against the most powerful empire in this part of the galaxy." "I don't know yet," Olivia admitted, "but there must be a way." Later that morning, Princess Zaravex summoned Olivia to her private chambers. The princess's skin was calm blue, showing no sign of the anger from the night before. "Dr. Nash," she said pleasantly, "I hope you slept well." "Yes, thank you," Olivia lied. "Good, I wanted to apologize for my reaction last night. You could not have known that area was restricted." The princess moved to a window overlooking the Crystal City. "You have been an excellent ambassador. Your insights into human culture have been most valuable." Olivia felt cold despite the warm room. The princess was acting as if nothing had happened, as if Olivia hadn't seen the war plans. "I'm glad to help," she said carefully. "I have a question," the princess continued. "Your neural implant, what exactly does it do?" Olivia's heart skipped a beat. "It helps me process language patterns. All xenolinguists have them. Fascinating. Our physicians are not familiar with such technology. Would you permit them to examine it?" "It's not removable," Olivia said quickly. "It's connected to my neural pathways." The princess turned all 6 eyes on her. "I did not suggest removing it. Merely scanning it to understand its functions." Olivia tried to look calm. "Of course. Though it's very specialized for human brains. No matter. It would still be educational." The princess made a dismissive gesture. "You may go. The royal physician will contact you to arrange the examination." As soon as Olivia left, she ran to find Melody. She found her in the garden area where Melody tended strange floating plants. "They want to examine my implant," Olivia said in a rush. "If they discover it's been recording the high speech, they'll kill you," Melody finished grimly. "We need to get you out of here." "How?" "I can't exactly steal a spaceship." Melody looked around to make sure they were alone. "Maybe not. But I might know someone who can help. There's a small resistance group. Astrals who oppose the Empire's expansion policies. They help refugees sometimes. Can you contact them?" "I can try. But we need time." Melody thought for a moment. The palace is preparing for the Lunar Festival. It's a 3-day celebration when security is more focused on the ceremonies than the residential areas. That might be our best chance. When is it? It starts tomorrow. Until then, you need to avoid that medical examination at all costs. That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, more alien words filled her mind. Her implant was doing more than recording. It was decoding and storing the high speech. Somehow her brain was beginning to understand it. She tried an experiment, whispering one of the phrases she'd heard the princess use. The words felt strange on her tongue, but she could pronounce them. This was dangerous knowledge. If anyone heard her speaking the royal language, she would be executed immediately. The next morning, the lunar festival began. The palace was decorated with glowing crystals and strange plants. Astrals wore elaborate costumes, and their skin displayed complex color patterns that Olivia now recognized as formal greeting displays. Olivia received a message that her medical examination had been postponed due to the festival. She breathed a sigh of relief. This gave them 3 days to plan an escape. Melody found her during the first ceremony. "I made contact," she whispered. "They can help, but we need to get to the lower city, and we need access codes for the transportation systems." "Where would we get those?" "From the central command hub, the room you found before." Olivia's stomach dropped. "That's heavily guarded. Not during the grand illumination tonight. Most guards will be assigned to the royal family. It's our best chance." That evening, Olivia dressed in festival clothes Melody had brought her. They were designed to help her blend in with the servants. Together, they made their way through the crowded palace. True to Melody's prediction, the hallways leading to the command hub were mostly empty. Using service passages Melody had mapped over years, they avoided the few guards on duty. "How do you know these passages so well?" Olivia asked as they crawled through a narrow tunnel. "I've lived here my whole life," Melody replied, "and I learned early that knowledge is power, especially when you're an outsider." They reached a ventilation shaft overlooking the command hub. Below them, a few astral technicians monitored displays showing security across the palace. "Now we wait," Melody whispered. "The shift change happens in 10 minutes. There's always a brief gap in coverage." As they waited, Olivia's head began to hurt. More alien words filled her mind. She saw flashes of star maps, heard snippets of battle plans. Her implant was processing everything it had recorded, making connections, translating. "Olivia?" Melody touched her arm. "Are you okay?" "You were mumbling." "I'm fine," Olivia said, though she wasn't sure that was true. "Just nervous." The shift change began. The technicians logged out of their stations and headed for the door. For about 30 seconds, the room was empty. "Now," Melody said. They dropped down from the vent and ran to the main console. Melody pulled out a small device and attached it to the system. "This will copy the access codes," she explained. Just a few more seconds and the door to the command hub slid open. An astral officer walked in, then froze at the sight of them. His skin flashed bright orange, an alarm pattern. Without thinking, Olivia spoke in the high speech. "Stand down." "Royal authorization." The officer's colors shifted to confusion. He hesitated, clearly shocked at hearing those words from a human. "How did you—" he began in the common tongue. Melody didn't waste the opportunity. She grabbed the device, now blinking green with success, and pulled Olivia toward the ventilation shaft. "Run!" she shouted. They scrambled up and into the shaft just as alarms began blaring throughout the palace. Melody led them through a maze of maintenance tunnels, moving quickly away from the command hub. "What did you say to him?" Melody demanded as they ran. He looked shocked. "I don't know exactly," Olivia admitted. "The words just came to me." Melody stopped suddenly, staring at Olivia with wide eyes. "You spoke the high speech." "That's impossible. My implant. I think it's been decoding it from recordings." "Do you have any idea how dangerous that is?" Melody looked terrified now. "If they find out, they won't just kill you. They'll make an example of you." They reached a small service room filled with cleaning supplies. Melody closed the door and leaned against it. "The resistance contact is expecting us at the lower city transport hub in 1 hour," she said. "But the whole palace will be looking for us now." Olivia's head was pounding. More words, more meanings flooded her mind. Through the haze of pain, she realized something important. "Melody, I think I can understand most of the high speech now. And if I can understand it?" "You can use it," Melody finished. The command codes for the security systems would be in high speech. Olivia nodded. If I can access a terminal, I might be able to create a distraction. Maybe even send a message to Earth. That's suicide, Melody said. But she hesitated. It might be our only chance. They formed a desperate plan. Melody would head to the transport hub to meet the resistance contact. Olivia would go to the resonance chamber, a communications center where the princess would be coordinating festival security. If she could access the systems there, she might be able to send a warning to Earth. If I don't make it, Olivia said, tell Earth about the invasion plans. Melody hugged her tightly. Be careful, and remember, if you're caught speaking the high speech, deny everything. Say it was a recording, anything, but admit you understand it. They parted ways in the service tunnels. Olivia made her way toward the resonance chamber, her mind now strangely clear despite the alien words filling it. She understood now what had happened. Her neural implant had created new pathways in her brain, literally rewiring her to comprehend the forbidden language. It was a death sentence if discovered. But it might also be Earth's only hope. The resonance chamber was the heart of the palace's communications system. From here, the royal family could speak to any ship in their fleet or any city on their world. Olivia moved carefully through the service tunnels, following directions Melody had given her. The alarms had stopped, but she could hear guards running through nearby hallways. Her implant was hot against her skin now, almost painful, but with the pain came understanding. She could comprehend most of the high speech, though speaking it was still difficult. More importantly, she now knew exactly what the Astrals planned for Earth. It wasn't just an invasion. It was a complete takeover. They wanted Earth's water, which contained trace elements rare on their worlds. They planned to remove most humans to work camps on mining planets. Only a few would remain as servants and study subjects. The invasion would begin in 3 Earth days. The fleet was already gathering near a hidden base in the asteroid belt. Earth would have no warning, and no chance to fight back against the advanced technology. Olivia reached a small
maintenance door that Melody had told her would
lead to an observation balcony above the resonance chamber. She listened carefully before opening it. No voices. She slipped through and found herself on a narrow walkway that circled the large room below. The chamber was beautiful and strange. Crystal pillars rose from floor to ceiling, humming with energy. In the center was a platform where controllers could access the communication systems. No one was there now. They were all at the festival ceremonies. Olivia climbed down a ladder to the main floor. She approached the central platform cautiously. The controls were designed for astrals, with strange symbols and color-coded surfaces. But thanks to her implant, some of the symbols now made sense to her. She placed her hand on what seemed to be the activation panel. Nothing happened. Of course, it would require voice authorization in the high speech. Olivia took a deep breath and spoke the words she had heard Princess Zaravex use. System activate. Royal protocol. The crystals hummed louder. Displays lit up around her. It had worked. Now she needed to find a way to send a message to Earth. She worked quickly, using both the physical controls and voice commands. The system showed her the location of the invasion fleet, dozens of ships hiding in the shadow of Jupiter, invisible to Earth's telescopes. As she prepared a warning message to Earth, she discovered something else. The invasion wasn't Princess Zaravex's idea. The royal records showed she had argued against it. But the Imperial Admiralty had overruled her, threatening something precious to the princess if she didn't cooperate. Olivia dug deeper and found security footage of a sealed chamber on the flagship. Inside was a younger astral female who looked similar to the princess. Perhaps a sister? She was held in some kind of stasis field, unconscious but alive. Blackmail, Olivia whispered to herself. The princess was being forced to lead an invasion she didn't support. Before she could process this, the main door to the chamber slid open. Guards rushed in, weapons raised. Behind them walked Princess Zaravex, her skin dark red with anger. Dr. Nash, she said coldly. Step away from the royal systems immediately. Olivia raised her hands but didn't move from the platform. Your Highness, I know about the invasion plans. That is not your concern, the princess replied. You have violated our most sacred laws by entering this chamber. I know you don't want this invasion, Olivia continued. I saw the records. They're forcing you to cooperate by holding your sister hostage. The princess's colors faltered. flashing briefly to shocked purple before returning to angry red. You understand nothing. Now step down or my guards will fire. Olivia stayed where she was. If I can send just one message to Earth, millions of lives could be saved. Your primitive weapons cannot stop our fleet, the princess said. Surrender now and your death will be quick. More guards entered the chamber. Among them, Olivia saw Melody being held at gunpoint. Her face was bruised, but she was alive. We caught this one trying to reach the lower city, a guard reported. She had stolen access codes. Princess Zaravex's eyes narrowed. So you worked together. How disappointing. She turned to Olivia. I had high hopes for our cultural exchange. But you chose espionage instead. I chose to protect my world, Olivia replied. Just as you would protect yours. The princess moved closer, her voice dropping so only Olivia could hear. You know nothing of protection. Do you think I want this war? My sister's life hangs in the balance. The Admiralty gives me no choice. There's always a choice, Olivia said softly. Then, on impulse, she switched to the high speech. Even for a princess bound by duty, the effect was immediate and dramatic. The guards gasped. Melody's eyes widened in horror, and Princess Zaravex's skin drained of all color, turning a pale, shocked white. The palace was shocked as the alien princess froze when Olivia spoke the forbidden words. For several seconds, no one moved or spoke. Then the princess found her voice. How is this possible? She demanded, still in the common tongue. No outsider has ever spoken the high speech in the 10,000-year history of our empire. One of the senior guards stepped forward. Your Highness, the law is clear. She must be executed immediately for this sacrilege. Olivia kept her eyes on the princess. I know about the fleet hiding near Jupiter. I know about the invasion plans. And I know you're being forced to comply. The princess's skin slowly regained its color, shifting to a deep, thoughtful blue. Guards, leave us. Take the other human to a holding cell. But Your Highness, the guard protested, the sacred law. I said leave us, the princess commanded, her skin flashing with royal authority patterns. The guards reluctantly withdrew, dragging Melody with them. When the doors closed, Princess Zaravex turned back to Olivia. Explain yourself, she said. How do you know our sacred language? Olivia touched her neural implant. This device records and analyzes language patterns. It's been recording the high speech whenever I heard it. Over time, it created neural pathways allowing me to understand and speak it. Impossible, the princess whispered. The high speech is genetically locked to royal bloodlines. Even if you heard it, your mind should not be able to comprehend it. Human brains are adaptable, Olivia explained. And this implant was designed to find patterns in alien communications. The princess circled Olivia slowly, studying her with all 6 eyes. In 10,000 years, no non-royal has ever spoken our sacred language. Some have tried, all have failed. Until you. She stopped directly in front of Olivia. Do you know what the ancient texts say about such an event? They speak of a time when the barrier of understanding would fall, when an outsider would speak the unspeakable. What does that mean? Olivia asked. It means, the princess said slowly, that either our empire ends in fire or begins anew in wisdom. The prophecy is unclear which. Olivia saw an opportunity. Let me help you save your sister. Together we can stop this war before it begins. The princess's skin cycled through many colors as she considered this.
The Admiralty has become corrupt.
They use my sister as leverage to push their expansion agenda. But with someone who can speak the high speech, she looked at Olivia with new intensity. The command codes would respond to you. I could issue orders to the fleet, Olivia realized. They wouldn't know the commands came from a human. It would be treason against the Admiralty, the princess said. But perhaps it would be loyalty to something greater. An alarm suddenly blared through the chamber. Displays showed guards running through the palace. What's happening? Olivia asked. The princess quickly checked the security feeds. Admiral Vexicon has arrived early for the festival. He's been informed of your capture. Her skin paled again. He's coming here now with an execution order. Your sister's captor? Olivia guessed. Yes, he is the leader of the war faction. If he finds you alive and speaking the high speech. The princess didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. What do we do? Olivia asked. The princess made a decision, her skin settling into a determined green pattern. We rescue my sister and stop the invasion. But first we need to get you out of here. She quickly accessed the chamber controls, opening a hidden passage behind one of the crystal pillars. This leads to my private shuttle bay. Go there and wait for me. I will retrieve your friend and meet you. Can I trust you? Olivia asked. The princess looked at her with all 6 eyes. You spoke the forbidden words. According to our oldest prophecies, that makes you either our destroyer or our savior. I choose to believe the latter. Olivia nodded and started toward the passage. Then she turned back. What's your sister's name? Your real name in the high speech. The princess hesitated, then answered in the musical royal language. The name translated in Olivia's mind as Starlight Dancer. We will save Starlight Dancer, Olivia promised. Also in the high speech, the princess's skin displayed a pattern Olivia hadn't seen before, hope mixed with fear. Go now, quickly. The Admiral must not find you. Olivia slipped into the passage as the door to the resonance chamber opened. She heard the princess greeting someone in the common tongue, her voice calm and controlled as if nothing unusual had happened. The journey to the flagship took several hours. Princess Zarovex piloted the shuttle expertly through something she called fold space, a way of traveling that bent the normal rules of distance. Olivia tried not to think too hard about the physics involved. Her implant was already giving her enough of a headache with its constant stream of alien language processing. Melody rested on a cushioned bench, recovering from her rough treatment by the guards. When she was feeling better, she joined Olivia at the front of the shuttle. So you can actually understand their royal language now? She asked in a hushed voice. Olivia nodded. Most of it. Some concepts are still strange, but I get the general meaning. In all my years on Astrolix, I've never heard of anything like this, Melody said. The high speech is supposed to be genetically locked to the royal bloodline. That's why it contains all their important command codes and secrets, because only royals can understand or speak it. Maybe human brains work differently, Olivia suggested. Or maybe my implant found a way around the genetic lock. Or maybe, Princess Zarovex said without turning from the controls, the prophecies are true. Melody looked confused. What prophecies? The oldest texts speak of a time when an outsider would understand the heart words, what you call the high speech, the princess explained. This would mark either the end of our empire or a new beginning. And you believe I'm this outsider? Olivia asked. The princess's skin rippled with thoughtful blue patterns. In 10,000 years, no non-royal has ever spoken our sacred language. Until today, what else should I believe? Olivia didn't know how to respond to that. She wasn't comfortable being part of some alien prophecy. She was just a linguist who wanted to save her planet. We're approaching the fleet, the princess announced. From here, we must be careful. My royal codes will get us onto the flagship, but Admiral Vexicon may have already alerted them to look for my shuttle. She brought up a display showing dozens of crystal ships gathered near Jupiter, hidden from Earth's detection systems. The largest was at the center, the flagship. It was massive, easily 10 times the size of the ship that had visited Earth. What's the plan once we're aboard? Melody asked. We need to locate my sister first, the princess said. She's being held in a stasis chamber somewhere on the command level. Then we need to reach the central control hub. From there, Olivia can use the high speech to issue retreat orders to the fleet. Will they obey orders from a human? Olivia asked. They won't know they're from a human, the princess explained. The commands will go through the ship's communication system. As long as you use the correct royal authorization codes, the fleet will obey. As they approached the flagship, Princess Zarovex sent identification codes. After a tense moment, they received clearance to dock. Remember, the princess said as they prepared to disembark. Act as if you belong. I'll say you are special research subjects being transferred for study. Keep your heads down and don't speak unless necessary. The docking bay was busy with activity. Crews loaded supplies onto smaller ships. Soldiers marched in formation. No one paid much attention to the princess and her 2 human companions as they moved quickly through the corridors. They took a transport lift to the upper levels where the command centers and royal quarters were located. As they stepped out, a group of officers approached. Your Highness, said the lead officer with a formal bow. We weren't expecting you aboard the flagship. Special inspection, the princess replied smoothly. Admiral Vexicon requested my presence. The officer's skin showed skeptical yellow patterns. The Admiral didn't inform us. Do you question royal authority? The princess's skin flashed with intimidating patterns. No, Your Highness, of course not. The officer backed down immediately. May I ask about these humans? Research subjects. I'm taking them to the laboratory section. The officer nodded and stepped aside. As they continued down the corridor, Olivia whispered, "That was close." "Too close," the princess agreed. "The Admiral may have already warned them about us. We need to hurry." They reached a secure area marked with royal symbols. The princess placed her hand on a scanner and the door slid open. Inside was a monitoring station with displays showing various parts of the ship. The princess quickly accessed a terminal. "I'm locating my sister," she explained. "The system still recognizes my royal codes, but once the Admiral realizes we're here, that will change." A map appeared on the main display. A blinking light showed a location several decks below them. "There she is," the princess said, "secured in Stasis Chamber 3. She downloaded the map to a portable device and led them back to the corridor. They took another lift down to a lower level. This area was quieter with fewer personnel around. The princess led them to a heavily guarded door. "This is it," she said quietly. "The stasis chambers." 2 guards stood at attention outside. They bowed to the princess but didn't move aside. "I wish to see the prisoner," she told them. "Apologies, Your Highness," one guard replied. "We have strict orders from Admiral Vex Khan. No one is allowed entry without his direct authorization." The princess's skin darkened. "You dare refuse a royal command?" The guards looked uncomfortable but stood firm. "Our orders come from the Imperial Admiralty, Your Highness. Even royal authority is superseded in matters of imperial security." The princess turned to Olivia and Melody, speaking in the common tongue. "We need a distraction." Before they could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. A voice announced over the communication system, "Security alert. Princess Zaravex and 2 human fugitives have boarded the flagship. All personnel on high alert. They are to be captured immediately." "Too late," Melody said. "They know we're here." The guards raised their weapons. "Your Highness, we must ask you to surrender yourself and your companions." Olivia stepped forward. Drawing on everything her implant had learned, she spoke in the high speech. "Royal Override, Security Protocol 793. Stand down immediately." The guards froze, clearly shocked to hear the sacred language from a human. Their skin showed confusion and fear. "That's impossible," one whispered. Using their hesitation, Princess Zaravex moved with surprising speed. She struck both guards with practiced precision, knocking them unconscious before they could recover. "The prophecy has its uses," she said with grim satisfaction. She took their weapons and handed one to Melody. "This won't stop the alert, but it gives us time." She placed her hand on the door scanner. It opened to reveal a large room with several transparent chambers built into the walls. Most were empty, but one contained a floating figure, a female astral who looked like a younger version of the princess. Princess Zaravex rushed to the chamber and began working the controls. "She's been in stasis for nearly an Earth year," she said, her voice tight with emotion. "Ever since she spoke against the Admiralty's expansion plans." The stasis field shimmered and faded. The young astral began to stir, her skin slowly regaining color. "Vaya," the princess said softly in the high speech. "Wake up, little star." The young astral's eyes opened one by one. "Zara," she said weakly. "What happened?" "Where am I?" "On the flagship. Admiral Vex Khan has been holding you hostage to force my cooperation with the invasion of Earth." The princess helped her sister sit up. "But we're going to stop him now." Vaya noticed Olivia and Melody. Her skin flashed with alarm. "Humans here?" "Allies," the princess assured her. "This one speaks our sacred language." Vaya stared at Olivia in disbelief. "That's not possible." "Many impossible things are happening today," the princess said. "Can you walk?" Vaya nodded and carefully stood. "The Admiral, he's planning something terrible. Not just for Earth, but for our people too. He wants to use the invasion as the first step toward overthrowing the royal family." "I suspected as much," the princess said grimly. "Come, we need to reach the control hub before he realizes what we're doing." They left the stasis chamber and found the corridor now filled with armed soldiers. Leading them was a tall astral with 8 eyes instead of 6, Admiral Vex Khan. His skin displayed aggressive red and black patterns. "Princess Zaravex," he said coldly, "your actions constitute treason against the Admiralty." "The only traitor here is you, Admiral," the princess replied. "Using my sister as a hostage, planning an unprovoked attack on Earth, conspiring against the royal family." The Admiral's eyes narrowed. "Your soft policies would keep our empire stagnant. Earth has resources we need. The humans are primitive and divided, easy conquests. His gaze shifted to Olivia. And this is the human who somehow speaks our sacred language? A genetic impossibility. Yet another reason why your judgment cannot be trusted, Princess. The prophecy speaks of change, Princess Zaravek said. Perhaps it is time for our empire to find a new path, one that doesn't require conquest and subjugation. Naive idealism, the Admiral scoffed. Guards, arrest them all. The humans will be studied before execution. The princesses will be returned to stasis until the Earth campaign is complete. The guards raised their weapons. Olivia stepped forward again and spoke in the high speech, her voice stronger and more confident than before. By royal decree, all military personnel will stand down immediately. Admiral Vexcon is relieved of command on charges of treason against the crown.